Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some more Path of Exile. I'm back on my original character, the first one that I ever built and played. And we got up to tier 10 maps-ish, just breaking into them at any rate. And I'd gotten to the point where I thought my character needed some upgrades, and I decided that rather than take the amount of currency that I had at the time and sink it, all into one weapon upgrade, because at that point there, the weapon was really holding me, not holding me back, but it was definitely a little bit below grade, right, where we should be for this stage. It does fine against the trash mobs, but it really comes out when you start fighting bosses, and or you get a couple of map mods on there, like elemental resistances or ailment thresholds, extra life, so on and so forth. So I played a few other characters, and now here we are, like 4 or 5 weeks later, coming back to him because I wanted to play some more endgame with this character, and I wanted to do a little bit of a transition. Inspired by Snoobae's video about playing the stat stacker version of the monk on his channel that he did there on a budget, where he showcased like a tier 15 map, doing it with like magic items and only 3 link or 3 support gems on each of his sockets. So that kind of inspired me to do the transition from the regular style monk into the stat stacking version. We'll do a little comparison, I guess. But the build as it stands for right now, we'll just take a quick look here at the character sheet. So I'm running, barely enough dexterity and intelligence to use all of the things that I have. Do have my main resistances capped, but chaos damage is quite scary, obviously. Decent life pool, nothing too special there. Decent energy shield, which, gets boosted by Grim Feast, so it's actually not too bad at all, and we got good sustain with the Grim Feast. And as for the skills, there I do use Flicker. I might spec out a Flicker and not do that anymore. I just starting to not like the lack of control that I have over it. But this is what I was running in it there. Perpetual Charge, Close Combat, Magnified Effect. Magnified Effect is a little bit of a off meta choice, because my understanding of the area of effect tag on Flicker Strike is that's how much area Flicker uses to look for a next target. So as people run Conk Effect in here, maybe they don't get as big a flickers because the next enemy is too far away because it's got the reduced AoE on it. But again, I'm not 100% sure on the exact mechanics of Flicker Strike, so I really can't say. Tempest Flurry is my attack skill of choice, just because it works so very well with the bell against bosses because it's so fast. Charge Staff, obviously. Bell. Oh, we forgot the links, I guess. Tempest Flurry is Tempo, Conk Effect, and Coursing Current. Charge Staff, we have Primal Armament, Ice Bite, and Conduction. Just using, I don't even know why I'm using Conduction on here. We could probably swap that out for a damage or another damaging or a duration skill. But I don't have the strength to socket in the duration, another red support skill is what I'm trying to say there. Tempest Bell, Glaciation, Overabundance, and Deep Freeze. And then onto the buffs there, we've got the Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ice, typical combo with the Cold Infusion on, like the cold support on Herald of Thunder, so we can propagate the explosions all over the place, Lightning Mastery and Long Shot. And then Herald of Ice has the Lightning Infusion, Cold Mastery, and Innervate for extra damage when the Herald of Ice is popping on the shocked enemies. Cast on Freeze is my way of getting the power charges. I don't use the... I use the Profane Ritual with the Cast on Freeze instead of the Frenzy Charge and the Charge switching tech. So Profusion and Impetuous on the Cast on Freeze there. Grim Feast and Wind Dancer. Gear. So my weapon here, this I bought for like 7 exalts back in like day number 10, day 11, you know, within the first 2 weeks before the big spike in all of the prices. It's not too bad. It's got an overall DPS of 575. But if we look on the market now, finding something with that amount of DPS is 110 exalts at the bare minimum. You'd have to probably dig into the mods or the exact things a little bit more. I think cold damage is more valuable because of the that's what most people are using the freeze, right, for doing the cold damage there. So I think the cold damage is worth a little bit more on average. So it might even be worth 2-3 divines. Oh look, there's one. 7 Orbs of Alchemy for something with 575. Oh, and they still haven't fixed the pricing in this here. I think they did fix the pricing when GGG got back on the mains on the real trading website. But all that aside, you know, just the usual things like the energy shield helmet and the pure evasion chest piece, along with the appropriate passive nodes on the tree, which we'll take a quick look at here currently as well. So, lead me through grace, protect me from harm, and I am the blizzard for the extra cold damage to make sure that we are getting the freezes off, rather than I am the thunder for the shocks, because I do have a little bit of lightning in the build, but not a lot. But that's why I was using the shocking support, is so that we get more chances to shock there. It's pretty... I don't think this is an optimal tree for the monk at all, but this is what I'm running right now, going with the 7 charges just to try to get the as big as possible flicker strikes. So I do have all of this the power charge nodes clicked, and the extra ones down here, the melee strike range and extra attack speed. Typical Herald stuff, everything in this wheel here, which is probably not optimal, but that's what we're running with. Because this works, you know, we're always triggering cast on freeze, so we pretty much get the 40% increased all of the time. And then just meta skill with the extra energy, and then this is our way of getting through elemental resistances, especially against the tougher enemies. We just freeze them, and then all of a sudden they have no protection from us. And then, of course, this for extra energy shield, and then this one for the extra evasion. And then, obviously, a whole bunch of extra evasion, which is sitting at like 78, 77%-ish, you know, just over 9,000. It's over 9,000 evasion rating. All right, so we are going to transition to a stat stacker. So give me a quick second here, and I'll pull up Snoobae's variation for that so that we can take a look at it. So here is his tree for the Flicker Warp Invoker, and this is the early end game CI attribute stacker 1. So obviously we need to make quite a few changes, so we'll have to go in and refund a whole bunch of points, but most of the core is there. But we will be going CI as well, just to shore up the chaos problem, as well as that also gives us little bit of comfort, I'm going to say, in the playstyle, where, you know, as soon as we see poison or purple stuff, the stupid little blooming flower things on the rare monsters, we don't have to be so scared of that. So I think this has 109 points in the build, whereas I'm only level 81 at this point. So this is going to be like, you know, a little bit of creativeness I think I'm going to have to come up with to make this all work. And that will be through the use of this jewel here. So there is a semi-expensive jewel in the mid-end game version here, the controlled metamorphosis with a large ring that gives us access to a bunch of points, and most importantly frees up a whole bunch of extra points so that we can go on these great big long epic voyages around the tree to pick up all of the stat stuff that we need to make the stat stacker work. All right, so let's just jump on into it. I guess we will go ahead and I will do a bunch of refunding, and I'll bring you all back when that's done. All right, so we've gotten a lot of refunding done. We're not done by any stretch, but no, 120,000. Wait, why did you... Why did you reinstate all of this stuff? This stuff should be out. Hold up.
Must meditate. Speak. That...
Don't see the disconnect there. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I don't know why it defaulted, but did recount again. We've got 32 points, which should allow us to do all of the fun stuff and things. So the one thing I guess I didn't go out and buy was the jewels, because I'm going to have a few extra jewel sockets to do. So, but I do have a complete respec of all of my equipment to go over as well here. But let's go do this big journey. Need to get some strength in there because we need to equalize out all of our stats because of the one node that we'll look at down at the bottom here. I need more intelligence. So this one here, 2% increased damage per 5 of your lowest attribute. So we want to make sure when we end up here that they're, you know, not, if not exactly equal, but at least roughly equal. So we failed in that, so we'll have to do some extra refunding along the way. So some dex and some intelligence can come out for some strength. So Oh, and I've got stats on my gear, so we'll finalize that after, I guess. So when I did go shopping and pick out all of my item changes here, I did on a medium budget, I'm going to say. I started with about 235 exalts and 5 divination, or 5 divine orbs. So I did do it all on a budget, getting all this stuff for exalts. In fact, all of the changes that I made here cost a total of 117 exalts, or about 1 divine, for all of the gear here. And then this controlled metamorphosis I picked up for 3 divines. And the only roll that matters on here is the negative to all elemental resists. So the 5s and the 6s were a little bit too expensive for me because I only had 5 divines to start, but the 7s, there were a few available at just 3 divines, so that's where we're at, is with the -7. So when I did all my shopping, I made sure to overcap all of my resistances by enough to accommodate for this change that we're going to do there. But we got a 1 exalt, big money, Pillar of the Caged God. This amulet was 10 exalts, I think. And basically on the amulet here, we were just looking to get, well, on all of the gear pieces, I was looking for resistances, stats, and then anything else that would be useful. And on the amulet and the ring that I bought, I did focus on rarity. So I think all told, after this change, my rarity is going to end up at about 76 or 78, somewhere in that range. So a little bit less than the 100 that I wanted to end up at, but that's because I didn't get any rarity on any of my other gear. A little bit budget on the boots, in that I only got a 30% move speed roll on there. So the boots were only 15 exalts. The gloves were 15 exalts there. Looking for the extra damage on attacks, because that's going to get boosted by the increased weapon damage per 5 strength stat on there. So that's going to give us a good amount of extra fire and cold damage, along with what we got on the rings as well. So there's lots of fire in there. There's cold from the gloves and the I Am the Blizzard. And then all of the lightning comes from charged staff for the things. I did spend quite a bit of money on the chest piece. This was 45 exalts. Just making sure we got something in that 2,000-ish range for evasion rating. And then again, you know, with a big dexterity roll on that there as well. Because we took out, where is it? This node here, Suterfuge Mass. We didn't need to go with an energy shield helmet, but I wanted to get my energy shield boosted up quite a bit, so that because we're Chaos Inoculation, obviously we want to have a lot of ES. The belt was 10 exalts, and the helm was 20 exalts I spent on this guy there. Just to, because I think the helm was the second or third last thing that I bought, so I needed to get certain exact resistances on it, so I didn't have much choice in the cost there. But we're getting a good boost in mana, so mana regen will go up a bit. We do get a little bit of extra spirit, so we can squish in another quality of life things in there. And then we see, I think I'm going to play with this just as it is there. So 182, 240 on the dexterity, which gives us the big attack speed roll on there. And then I guess we might find a way to play with that. So I need to get this socket now. We need to do one refund somewhere, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get it back later. So Let's just take the point out of there. Apply it there. Oh, I'm in the... There, let's get out of Doriani. So we can actually put the jewel in the socket. And then go back into Doriani.
What is it?
And now we can refund out... Oh, I do need that one there because we have to attach that on the tree somehow. And I think it's better to come up this way to get that, but let's just see, I've got 3 points. Yeah, we might have to do some creative work to get... Because over here, we only need this one, and this one. And we can refund out all of these guys. But it might be better to keep all of that stuff for evasion. We're up over 10,000 now. Which isn't bad, I guess. But let's just take a look again at the mid-game one. So up this way, and we get stun recovery here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points to get to that jewel socket. And there's more stats in there rather than evasion nodes over there. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Is we'll pull those ones out. Stun threshold, yeah, stun threshold's is not bad at all either. Oh yeah, I'm missing everything from this star wheel down there, so we can pull these points out now. Actually, do we want those two? Well, we'll leave this one. We can always pick up later. All of those we can pull out. How did that stay lit up? Must have been a visual bug or something. So now we have 7 more points to play with by coming into this jewel socket from this way, rather than picking up all of these nodes up there. We did cut out 5,000 points of evasion, but I think we're going to pick up some of that back over here. Those two. This one. This one. Oh, there's an anoint that I have to get as well. This one, escape strategy. So despair, paranoia, despair. I don't even know how expensive that one is, but 100% extra evasion would work quite nicely. And then there's 3 more points we have left to spend. There is charm slot there. That's a little bit low priority. I think these ones over here are the ones that I should be going for. Eternal Youth, I think that's a must-have. And then we'll go for one of these freeze ones down here. Probably the freeze threshold on there so that we can have that little bit of quality of life. There we go. We've got our next 3 points to spend down there. A pretty good mix up there. I'm not sure if that's exactly ideal, but for now, that's what we'll run with. And yeah, I think I want to jump onto a map and see what that can do for us. I don't want anybody buying up all of my old equipment because with the possible nerf incoming, we might have to switch back. So I'm going to be holding on to all of my old gear there for now. So only 1,600 energy shield is a little bit thin, especially with only getting back to 9,000. Well, we actually gained a couple of points of evasion rating on that whole transition. Kept our resists. We're now capped on chaos resist. Or not capped on it, we're immune to it. And yeah, let's just grab a random tier 9, I guess. Patches of shocked ground. And I always try to get my waste stone drop chance with 2 suffixes. So, you know, between 180 and 220-ish, whatever the chances that come out there. Cursed with elemental weakness. I don't think that's going to be too hard to deal with. Yeah, let's just jump on in. We'll do a regular boring one here. And then after this, we do this showcase. I'll pull up the video for the map that I ran just before this one. So we can see what kind of a difference it is. Shouldn't be too big of a difference, but I guess time will tell when we get there.
No escape.
There we go. Now we've got our charges running. Yes, we do shoot all the way across the screen, it looks like. With all of the extra goodies that we get from the Pillar of the Caged God, with the extra area of effect. there's no breach in this map, so you don't get to show that off, but don't have to worry about any of those poison guys. That's really a relief. Like I still do have to drop some bells on the rares, which I didn't think I would have to do. I thought I would have lots and lots of damage. What was up with that guy? I think there was a weird thing going on with the terrain in that situation. Right, lots of monsters left. I always try to finish these down to at least under the 50 mark. Number of times I've finished all of the rares and then gone and looking for stragglers and gotten more map drops has proved its worth as a policy, anyways, for me. So I won't make you watch the rest of the map, but we'll bring it back there to look at the pre-transition run, which actually feels mostly the same, to be honest with you. Which is kind of strange for, you know, comparing a 30 to 35 exalt build as opposed to a 400 exalt build, because this has got 3 divines invested in the gem.
Fury unleashed.
Does feel a lot safer, I guess, is one thing. $18 monsters left. After we clear that up, that's just about enough there. Right, I guess I forgot to take a look at what our tooltips are here. So the heralds look a lot lower than they were before. And Tempest Flurry at 8,300 I feel is lower. So yeah, maybe we need to get more strength in there, but I skewed a little bit more towards strength, right? To get the weapon damage increase up there. I guess we could take a look also. So 5.56 attacks per second with a 0.18. Yeah, we'll have to do off camera. I'll have to take a look at the old setups and compare some of that, but that's it is faster. It does feel faster. So I think the DPS has actually gone up quite a bit, and maybe just with the stat stacking, the way the stat stacking is working, it doesn't interact with the tooltip very well. But at any rate, let me queue up the video for the before change map there. Okay, we can speed this up because we don't need to watch it in real time. We notice a huge difference in the area of effect, obviously. And I will miss Flicker Strike in maps like this, because you can really fly around quite fast in these kinds of layouts. But the more open layouts, like the one I just did, it's can send you backwards more often than not. yeah, at any rate, that has been my transition video. All in all, I guess we'll have to see. I'll have to play it a lot more and find out. We'll have to take on some bosses and some of the more like challenging map types for the Invoker monk, like, you know, the elemental resists, the more health, the more ailment, the ailment resistances, those kinds of mods which make running the cast on freeze and stuff there a little bit more trickier to go. Anyways, I appreciate you all for coming and checking out the video. You can leave any comments down below. Obviously, we'll look back in the rewind and see where the tooltips ended up or started off at. Can't look at them live here, but I can always look at that off camera and see what those are. And like I said, the feels a lot tankier. And I have to worry about the poison stuff a lot less and the chaos stuff, so that's going to feel a lot better. And we definitely didn't lose damage, but I think the damage is roughly comparable, or is definitely at least comparable. And we've got a lot more range on our charged staff slash Tempest Flurry. It's now reaching like probably twice or almost 3 times as far as it did before. So those are my takeaways from this transition, and I think I'm liking it, but time will tell. As always, I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.